Welcome back to EXPLORE-OVERLAND. And how good's early lights behind the grill look? I'm just putting a little bit of penetrating oil on at the moment. It's going to look absolutely fantastic, all waxed up and on the road. One of the reasons I've done the last video is to just show everybody what it looks like, you know, after I've done all the work on the panels. They come up quite flat, you know, because the whole panel's had a rub, blended into paint and fixing up all the bodywork, you know, the heat shrink. But once that's all done and finalised, then you can put on the wax and really make it pop. All I've done here is put penetrating oil on, you know, the engine, the gearbox, the chassis and all that before I put all the panels back on top of it. It'll just make it that much easier for the person that buys the vehicle to restore it, to do work on it, you know, because everything will be nice and free. This vehicle will be an absolute pleasure for whoever restores it, because no matter what stage of the restoration, being a patina restoration, this thing's going to look great in the garage, that's for sure. It's one of those things that it could sit there for a long time without work done on it because it looks good just the way it is. Now I just wanted to, I'll put the penetrating oil in the bulkhead rather than wax at the moment, because I just wanted all that to soak in nice into all those little gaps and behind the bolts and all that sort of thing. Then putting all the oil down in the chassis and getting the same thing over the axles and the diffs and all that. Just making sure all the bolts are well penetrated. So I sprayed this in probably about an hour and a half ago, and I'm just giving it that time to soak in before I just wipe off the excess. I use it quite liberally too, you know, just really get it on there and let it soak right in. I mean, you don't have to worry about wasting it. This is a mix of mine that I've been working on over probably the last 15 or 20 years. And you don't have to worry about wasting it because you're wiping the majority of it back off, and you can just squeeze out your rag and put it back in the tube what's left over. Save wasting it all. But the aim is to get it on really nice and thick. It's amazing how well this penetrates into the surface rust. One of the things I haven't been really good at mentioning, although I've mentioned it quite a few times how early the vehicle is, but I really probably haven't explained it sufficiently as to how early and what that means. Like, this vehicle is so early that the only way you could mock one of these up if you had, say, the body number, is to find another vehicle the same or a light green vehicle. That's how early it is. It's all the same patent, as I've explained before, as the 48s and the early 49s, the 866 49s. Although this is a 061 49, it's a 50 model year, it's the very first of the 50 model year, and it's just after mid 49, and a very, very early vehicle. Did I mention that? But for the people that really, you know, parts book readers and all that sort of thing that really know the vehicles and know how rare the parts are on these vehicles. Yeah, to restore one is near on impossible. There's plenty of them running around with 2 litres and all different parts off 52s and 53s, but there's not that many really good early vehicles running around with all their original bits. There's going to be pieces missing off this car, you know, stuff like the gauges and, you know, some lights on the dash, and there's a bracket, an L-shaped bracket across the back of the top of the radiator. You know, that's something that you could just mock up out of anything. You know, it's just an L-shaped bracket. Easy to find. I'll probably find one just throwing with the vehicle before it goes. But it has all its really hard to get bits. What happened was that with these early vehicles, there was just a lot of changes. You had your first 1500, which all the parts were ordered for, and you know, they're obviously different in the bulkhead, and you know, the bulkhead top rubber is on the windscreen and all those little first 1500 bits. But even the second 1500 bits without the drip rail on the top of the bulkhead, other than that, this vehicle is very close, except for like heater holes in the bulkhead and stuff like that. They're done for the heater. And a few other bits and pieces. This vehicle is very close. Well, it's virtually exactly the same as the second series 48, the second 1500. Another thing that really hasn't been explained properly too is, you know, everyone goes on about rare Land Rovers, rare early Land Rovers and all that sort of stuff. Well, there was heaps of lights behind the grills built. They're not that rare at all. But most of the lights behind the grill were built straight after this vehicle. That's when production really ramped up. There was virtually, after this vehicle, was as many made after this in the 50 year as what there was for 48, 49 and early 50. Up to, you know, fish plate, right up to the changeover of 50 at December 49. See as the light pops over the top of the bulkhead around this side of the vehicle, just how nice it looks, how nice the paterna's coming up. And by late this afternoon, I should have a lot of the panels back on the car. Now that's another one of the things too, is the proper lights behind the grill lights. These aren't, you know, mock-ups or reproductions. These are the real deal. Pretty hard to get the original Land Rover ones. Yeah, there's, you know, other tractor lights that look the same and all that sort of thing, but the proper actual Land Rover lights, they've just got a really different way that they were produced, the way that the heads spotted in to the top of the bowl. And you can see all the huge big ticket items that are worth mega bucks. As I said before, this is going to be sold for less than what it would be in parts. And let's face it, if JP was wrecking this thing out, it'd be $400,000 car. But it's going very cheap. As a matter of fact, most people are going to be blown away at how cheap this thing goes. The opportunities to find a vehicle this early, this complete for restoration now, is virtually non-existent. And when you're spraying the penetrating fluid around, make sure you don't spray it over stuff that you don't want to get hit. And as I was showing you with this transom yesterday and the day before, what I wanted to do was get that huge convex bow that was in the back of the transom. I wanted to get it out of there just so it looks a lot neater when it's on. But as you can see there, if I can, yeah, that's not perfect. But, you know, the seats are going to go over it. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a rub down. And that takes the shine off it. Now usually you can see the backdrop, fantastic place to work on old Land Rovers, if it's not blowing a gale. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this tub, I'm going to put the tub back on, and then we'll just work our way forward from there and get the rest of it back together. We'll work smart here. Right, this should be good. Now I probably should take you for a walk around this while the light's a bit around this way and this side for the minute. Just give you a bit of an idea of what it's starting to look like. This is that's not its original grill, by the way. The original grill's got our holes cut out, but the original grill is there. Oh, did I mention it was early? I'm just going to put a little bit of wax on the tub, just to give you a bit of an idea of how good this looks. Now, as I've said before, I've been chasing and hunting these things down for a couple of decades or more, and sometimes it's pretty hard to get excited about them, but even when I put this one back together now, they look good, and I'm enjoying seeing this come back together, as it just looks so, there's nothing like them really when it comes to a patina classic vehicle. The only thing better than them, in my opinion, is a very early two-door Range Rover with a beautiful patina. Now that with a Range Rover, that's very, very hard because they suffer from a lot of rust. To find one that's got a patina with the metal coming through the paint and the alloy and all that sort of thing, that's not completely rusted out, is very, very rare. See that patina there? That's going to come up absolutely beautiful. I'll just grab the camera again.
Ireland's kitchen and laundry appliance specialist. Ooh, this one's for all the barbecues out there. It's Aldi's classic tender.
I'm just running the tap through all the 5/16 capsulated nuts in the bulkhead just before I start fitting things up. Okay, starting to look pretty good. Gonna have to come back tomorrow now to see how this all turns out.